Good morning, everybody. Here we are again, Sarah's Saturday sofa session live on Facebook. As I said on my post, I'm very lucky to have my first SME with me, which is Bev Mapes from Designsalike Limited, based in Portsmouth, international coverage and international client base. So it's really great to have her here with me. We're social distancing in the garden and we're really pleased because it's really quite warm and sunny. We've got our coffee and our breakfast and we're ready to go. So today we're going to have a chat about adaptability in business and how Bev and her company have coped in the last year. So thanks, Bev, for coming along.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks you for the coffee and the nibbles and everything. That's great.
It's lovely.
Yeah,
And it's
really
sunny and it's
excited.
warm.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Okay, so adaptability. How has the whole COVID situation affected you and your business?
It affected us an awful lot at the beginning because we do workwear and we also manufacture sportswear and dance clothing. Well, of course, the dance schools and all the sports clubs shut down right at the beginning. So we lost probably 80% of our business straight away.
Ouch.
Yeah. So, I mean, the first thing we had to do was look at all the help that was available as far as furlough and grants and that type of thing. I spoke to my landlord about the rent and basically anything just to keep us afloat, really. So that was the initial thing. I mean, panic at the very beginning, obviously.
Yeah. And how did your staff react to having to adapt because they were forced into it like you were?
They were, yeah. I think the very first lockdown, I think people didn't realise it was going to go on so long. So it was a bit of a novelty, I think, to be able to have time off and still get paid. But as time went on, I was constantly having to sort of reassure really that I was still working on getting the business up and keeping the business going, and they would have a job. So I was constantly saying, I'm doing this to try and keep your job safe. And I think that was the main thing really for me, was keeping their job safe throughout the whole time.
And keep everything floating and continuing to trade all the time. Yeah,
trade as much as we could. I mean, we were fortunate, we were allowed to do click and collect after the first lockdown. We weren't allowed to do anything in the first lockdown. And then just keeping our social media going so that even those customers that weren't open, we still had a drip feed of information for them to let them know we were still here. And I know that quite a few companies that do what I do have gone under during the last 12 months, so I'm really pleased
that you kept going. Brilliant. Yeah. So when you've done your phase of adaptability, what else did you change in your business, or what solutions did you come up with?
Obviously we changed hours for everybody. We then looked at the customers that were still trading. So for instance, it became apparent sort of fairly early on that tradesmen were going to be busy because a lot of people couldn't go on holiday, so they were going to have conservatories built and what have you. So we then just started targeting decorators and builders and roofers and scaffolders
for all their workwear.
Absolutely. And what we did is we came up with some offers and we targeted them specifically. I joined various Facebook groups for decorators and things, and I would just put a post out and then I'd share it with those particular groups.
Did that.
And then for our made-to-order stuff, all the sportswear we do, realised dance schools, gym clubs, swimming clubs were all closed, but people could still cycle. So we started designing cycle jerseys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, now, in actual fact, it took longer than I thought, so we haven't managed to get it completely off the ground yet, but we've certainly made inroads for that.
So that's
something.
Future.
Yeah, definitely.
Fabulous.
Definitely.
So, what kind of operations changed during your adaptability phase and the COVID year that we've had, which seems to be going on forever? What kind of operations did you change, and what solutions have stayed in place? Is there anything that's stayed in place?
I mean, we obviously, because we were working shorter hours and still are, we're still only doing a 3-day week. We've had to look at when we do our printing, when we put the heat press on, because it takes a long time to heat up. It's not worth putting it on for just a couple of hours. So we've looked at that, and we now work in the production side. When work comes in, we turn it around much quicker, and then my staff go back on furlough if nothing else
Yeah.
has come in. Now obviously that can only stay until September, until
Yeah.
furlough finishes, and
Yeah.
then
And then we'll
and
find
then
out another
find
phase
out-
of what happens.
see what
won't we?
happens next. Yeah.
So
yeah.
do you find that your productivity is continued, which is great, and it's been constant, but do you find it's increased?
It's starting to get better now.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously my workforce are working as hard as they can. They want their jobs. I mean, after the first lockdown, they were all sick of being at home anyway, so they were glad to come back. So I think we are a tighter unit now, and
Yeah.
you know, they all appreciate that actually, even though we're only working 3 days a week, that doesn't mean that we should give a longer lead time to our customers. It should mean that actually the minute a job comes in, we should be working on it. Whereas under normal circumstances, when a job comes in, it might be 2 weeks before we can even touch it, because we've got so much work on. So I mean, I'm hoping to get back to that, obviously.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's,
But productivity, by the sound of it, has become quicker because of what's
yeah,
happened.
yeah.
Which is, you know, that's good. And I think, is that a tip that you would give to other businesses?
Yeah,
What
definitely.
would you say?
Yeah, definitely. I think, I mean, even if normally you've got a lead time of say 6 weeks, which is on our manufacturing, that's what we've got, 6 weeks. If you temporarily can bring that down to 3 or 4 weeks or 2 weeks, then those customers are going to be really pleased, and they're going to recommend you,
Yeah.
even though they know that eventually it'll go back to the normal lead time. I mean, we have customers that maybe bring in some garments to have an embroidery on, and we would normally give them a 1 to 2 week turnaround. At the moment, we're generally doing it the same day.
Wow,
Because those customers
that's
are amazed,
massively
you know,
changed,
and
yeah.
that's really going to help us as far as recommendations, because
Yeah.
they're really pleased.
Yeah, pushes your
Yeah.
reputation through the roof,
Yeah.
which is exactly
Yeah.
what we want. So that's
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
really positive.
It is.
We like positivity, especially when we are in the places we are in at the moment.
Yeah.
So, what's happening in the future then?
Well, the dance schools have started opening up again, so
Yeah,
we're really
still
pushing
good.
that again. We're really pushing that again. But I have realised that I need to diversify so that when things happen, you're not just relying on one sector. So, I mean, we've always done like swimming clubs and gym clubs and things, but I'm now looking into getting back into football clubs, obviously the cycling, running clubs and things like that, so that you've got a wider customer base, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's good to have all your eggs in one basket
No.
anyway.
No.
A few years ago, I invested quite a lot of money in some new machinery to enable us to do a lot more. And so now I'm just trying to develop that into more sectors, sports sectors, really.
Fabulous,
Yeah.
fabulous.
Yeah.
Wow, you have to keep watching this space, and you have to make sure that you go on to Designsalike's website. The website is on here, which you'll be able to see, which is fabulous. Look at all you lovely people watching. Hello. What I would like to say is I think adaptability in business is crucial. I think it's something that is a continuous process. And when you go through adapting areas of your business, you need to look at the back end as well as the front end. So you do need to look at your processes and your systems and your organisation. And as Bev has quite rightly proved, it's increased productivity. Her reputation is going sky high, which is fabulous. And her year looks to be like a bright one.
And actually, just on that note, I mean, that is one thing I did, isn't it, Sarah? I used that time to get you in to look at all our policies
Yes.
and everything. So
Yes, you did.
I didn't waste that time
No.
thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen? We were really positive about trying to keep things going, and that's
Yeah.
what we did. So
Fabulous. Lovely little plug for me there too.
of course.
Right, ladies and gents, and all of you lovely people watching. Next week, I'm going to be somewhere else. I'm not going to tell you anymore. Please keep posting and sharing all your comments and your experiences. And if you are a local business and you want to come and share time like Bev has on my sofa, then get in touch. Until then, have a really good week. Stay safe. See you next week. Bye for now.
Bye.